Hey, what's going on, bull runners? Welcome back to the channel. Today, we're unpacking some massive crypto stories shaking up the market. Wall Street giants like Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs are betting billions of dollars on blockchain. Donald Trump's bold plan could pump trillions into the crypto space, and experts are calling XRP the smartest $500 investment that you can make right now. These aren't just headlines, they're signals of the financial revolution. I'm Ryan Huggins, and stick with me because over the next few minutes, we're going to be unpacking all of this information so you can stay ahead. Plus, we'll be heading over to x.com to find out all the breaking crypto news that you need to know about right now. We'll also head over to Forex Factory and find out all the red folder news that you need to know about this upcoming week. We'll dive deeper into Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs, who is leading traditional finance's blockchain charge. We'll take a look at USA Today saying XRP is the smartest cryptocurrency to buy with $500 right now. Plus, we will be jumping into the charts for XRP at the end of the video. We're also going to be covering the long-term and short-term momentum waves and so much more in today's video. So if you're like most people where you don't have the opportunity to spend hours a day in the crypto news like we do for you here every single day on this channel, make sure you subscribe right now. And if you are still feeling bullish about this current bull run, let me know by commenting 777 down below. First things first, let's head over to CoinMarketCap, check out the overall health of the crypto market. As you can see right here, $3.71 trillion total market cap. We are up 2.48% in the last 24 hours. Volume is pretty light right now, only $107 billion over the last 24 hours. Fear and Greed Index coming in at a 52 in the neutral zone. Last week was a 67, so we are cooling off a tad. Altcoin season continuing to trade sideways here for the last couple of days. 40 out of 100. Yesterday was a 40. Last week was a 39. Bitcoin dominance at 61.3%. We would like to see that under 60 to more confirm altcoin season. Bitcoin ETFs last week, lackluster $642,000 worth of outflows, unfortunately. Ethereum ETF inflows finishing the week at $154,000 worth of inflows, even after a really rough Friday of $152 million worth of outflows. Top 6 cryptos by total market cap: Bitcoin number 1 at $114,000, number 2 Ethereum at $3,500, number 3 XRP at $2.97, number 4 Tether at $99.99. BNB number 5 at $753, and Solana at number 6 at $162. Heading over to Forex Factor, what you need to pay attention to on Tuesday. There is some important red folder news coming out. That's going to be services PMI. This number is the leading indicator of economic health. Business react quickly to market conditions, and their purchasing managers hold perhaps the most current and relevant insight into the company's views of the economy. Then we wait for Thursday. Thursday will be the unemployment claims, currently forecasted at 221,000. As you all know, the battle for interest rates continues to rage on, and here is Trump's response.
Longer than expected GDP report comes. When do you think analysts worry that lowering interest rates would actually lead to inflation?
Well, if that happens, then we just raise them. What you do is you lower them, and let's see if there's inflation. Right now, there's no inflation. Everybody thought there would be. All we have is billions of dollars of cash pouring into our country from other countries that took advantage of us for many, many years. You know, they would.
Now, during that same interview, Trump also went on to explain why the interest rates are so important for the United States citizens.
We should be lowering the rates. You know, each point that this gentleman keeps up costs us $365 billion a year. Think of that. 1 point, $365 billion. If you bring it down a point, we save 365. We should be the lowest interest rate, and we're not. We're 38, number 38, because of the Fed. It's all because of the Fed. He's done a bad job. Now, he's got a meeting today, but I call him too late. You know, he's always too late. Even if he does it today, probably won't. I hear they're going to do it in September, not today. For what reason? Nobody knows. But Europe, as you know, cut their rates 11 times in the last short period of time. But the good news is we're doing better than anybody anywhere in the world. Nobody's doing anything even close to us, even with the higher rates. The higher rates do affect housing, though, because people can't go out and get a loan or refinance their house. And it would be nice to have them be able to do that. That would be just another check of a box. That would be very important. Yeah, please.
So on top of saving the country billions of dollars a year, as you can see, $365 billion a year, as he mentions in there as well, for you, the average everyday person, We need lower rates so we can buy houses and refinance houses. As you know, I'm in real estate investment, whether you know that or not. I'm pretty sure you do. But we do a lot of house flipping, and interest rates play a huge part into our exit strategy. If people can't buy homes when we finish flipping them, then there is a huge problem for us in that business as well. So the economy does definitely do extremely well when lower interest rates are available for everyone in different sectors of the markets. So if we have lower interest rates, we'll have easier ways of paying down the debt. And on top of that, Trump really might bring in another $4 trillion of revenue over the next decade for our country. This much additional income for the federal government almost guarantees that even if Democrats eventually adjust them a bit, Trump's tariffs are here to stay. So as you can see, the report came out for July of 2025, $29.6 billion worth of inflows. So the combination of Trump bringing in tariff money inflows, plus on top of that, trying to negotiate down our debt, he's really pushing towards alleviating the national debt altogether and paying that off. Now, there's also the rumors swirling out there that the $5,000 Doge checks may still be coming to us. Imagine the crypto market when that hits as well.
Have you built a crypto portfolio over $1 million but want to access your wealth without selling any of your coins? Well, imagine unlocking up to 85% of your portfolio's value to fund ventures like real estate, to buy other projects in the crypto space that are undervalued compared to the projects that you currently hold, or to diversify into different DeFi yield opportunities. That way you can live on the interest without selling any of your crypto. Well, we've partnered with a leading global office offering non-recourse crypto loans for investors with portfolios starting at $1 million. The same company that is trusted by the world's largest institutions and investors because, as you already know, the billionaires don't sell their crypto, they borrow against it. So if you're ready to unlock up to 85% of your portfolio's value without selling any of your coins, and you have a portfolio with at least $1 million, then email us at team@bullrunners.com. You're going to see our email contact in the description below, and we'll get you connected with the company that has helped clients like ours north of $100 million borrow against their crypto without selling any of it. So reach out to start a conversation with our team right now at team@bullrunners.com, and we'll talk to you soon.
And when it comes to debt, the United States obviously at $35 trillion in debt, but the world is now $324 trillion in debt, which is the highest in history. But who is everyone in debt to is the real big question. Also, breaking publicly traded company SharkLink Gaming buys another 15,822 Ethereum worth $54 million. And if you've been following the charts at all over the last couple of days, this weekend has been a little rough. Sunday having a better turn to the up. XRP whales have sold over 719 million XRP coins in the past 24 hours. And when we take a look at the charts at the end of the video, as of right now on Sunday, the bulls seem to be picking them up. Buy the dip, as Eric Trump said. And as we see here on August 2nd, Eric Trump said, let me say it again, buy the dips, Bitcoin, Ethereum, etc. Now, the first time he said that, by the way, that one didn't go so well for him. That was February 25th of 2025. It did have a couple of days of run up, but it ended up having a pretty big negative pullback at that point, but then rallied, of course, back to significant new all-time highs for Bitcoin and getting close to that $4,000 mark for Ethereum. Now, earlier this morning, when we were having that severe pullback, we did have $125 million worth of cryptocurrency market liquidated in 60 minutes. That was yesterday around noon Pacific time. And more bullish news for Ethereum. We did see that the outflows did happen over the past week, but out of the last 31 days, Ethereum ETFs only saw 1 day of net outflows. So they had $5.4 billion worth of net inflows for July. Also, it was announced everyone has seen the Ripple National Trust Bank info, but Cowboy Crypto says, I looked through their OCC application today and found who the organizers of the trust bank are. One name stuck out to me, and that was Tim Keeney, who is retired vice chair of BNY Mellon, who was responsible for custody of 25% of global institutional assets while he was there. So it does make a lot of sense on seeing Ripple partnering with BNY to custody their Ripple RLUSD. And Benjamin Cohen actually came out with a really good post here because we've been watching the battle with this interest rate scenario between Trump and Powell. But Benjamin says here, Trump has said many times that he won't fire Powell. Now he blusters and he huffs and he puffs and he says he needs to get out of here. He's the worst guy ever. By keeping Powell on while simultaneously criticizing him anytime the market drops a few percent, he actually has a constant scapegoat to take the blame. So this was a a 3D, 5D chess move here. He's saying if Trump replaced Powell with someone that he selects, he no longer has an easy out. Also, just before the weekend hit, the U.S. Treasury did buy back $2 billion worth of its own debt. Economic studies, like those from the Federal Reserve, suggest such maneuvers could mitigate risk of disorderly debt defaults, but the scale here is insufficient to significantly alter the trajectory of the Federal Reserve's balance sheet or national insolvency risks. And this buyback reflects a rare cash management strategy last used extensively from 2000 to 2002, aimed at adjusting the maturity structure of the $36 trillion national debt. That's a small fraction, 0.0056 of the total. And that's what we were talking about earlier, how Trump is trying multiple different strategies at reducing the debt. The tariffs, obviously one, reducing interest rates another, the Treasury buying back some of its debt. Now, this was a small percentage, as it said, but they may continue to buy more. So let's dive into the big dogs of finance, Citigroup, JP Morgan, and Goldman Sachs. A new Ripple report says that these banks are leading the charge in blockchain investments, pouring over $100 billion into 345 deals since 2020. That's huge. Citigroup and Goldman Sachs each backed 18 blockchain startups, while JP Morgan was right behind them with 15. And they're not just dabbling, they're focusing on big ticket areas like tokenization, custody, and payment solutions. For example, a Brazilian company called CloudWalk raised $750 million with the bank backing. Now, why does this matter? Well, these banks aren't just playing with crypto for fun. They're building the future of finance. Stablecoin volume hit $700 billion a month in early 2025, and tokenization could be an $18 trillion market by 2033. Ripple's at the center of this, powering cross-border payments with XRP, and this tells us traditional finance is all in on blockchain, and that's a massive green light for crypto's growth. And the reason this is so important is it shows mainstream adoption by major banks, signaling crypto's legitimacy and growth potential, boosting public sentiment and confidence in investing into crypto as a whole. Then on top of that, we have USA Today telling us that XRP is the smartest buy for crypto if you have $500 right now. So in this article, they go on to talk about everything we talk about with XRP every single day, but it's just a major, massive publication reporting. What do they talk about? Well, they're talking about the regulatory climate easing. That's why XRP would be a good buy. They talk about the Genius Act as a departure from the climate under the previous administration when lawsuits and enforcement stifled crypto adoption. XRP's developer, Ripple Labs, was affected by this legal uncertainty. Then they talk about the path to real-world utility. XRP's main selling point is the focus on real-world utility. XRP focuses on a more tangible market for international payments. Its speed and low fees make it ideal for bridge between different currencies. And they went on, is it too late to buy XRP? Well, despite its relatively small unit price of $3.15 at the time, XRP is the third largest cryptocurrency with a market cap of $187 billion. While this vast size gives its brand recognition and stability, it also means investors shouldn't expect a repeat of the explosive returns XRP enjoyed in the past. That said, slow, steady often wins the race. So an exciting piece for XRP Army to see a national publication coming out and talking about XRP. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the charts for XRP. As we can see, last week did finally come to an end. As you can see, price did come down into our supply and demand zone, but more importantly, it actually came and bounced right off the 10 exponential moving average. Now, remember, we talk about that a lot. It is way simpler to see on the daily charts. Once you break above the 10 exponential moving average, we look bullish. Now, we are coming into a very important part of resistance right now. A couple of things are happening to us. Number one, at $3.01, we are running into a weekly body candle close. And these are the body candle close that came from January 27th and the week prior, January 20th. That was the high of the body candles until we finally got that break on July 14th. So we are about to collide with that level right now on a brand new weekly opening candle. Once we push through this, we're going to look to see price running back to $3.23 and getting back to challenge that level of the weekly candle there. After we break through that, we're then going to have our all-time high weekly candle close of $3.45. Now, yes, we do have an actual price close above that on the daily charts. We're just looking at weekly here for right now. Once we break above this level, $3.45, Then we'll take a look at the daily charts. We can then start to see price discovery mode after we break above this supply and demand zone that we're going to run into. Now, as we see right now on the daily charts, we have a bullish momentum, long-term momentum wave on our Wolfpack indicator. It did come down, have a pretty decent reset here on the daily. But what's really exciting is our short-term momentum waves have reset to zero, both of them. So we have our short-term and our middle-term reset all the way to zero. Now, last time they both reset from zero was all the way back here, June 22nd. Short-term momentum started to climb. Middle-term momentum started to push behind it. And we also broke into positive momentum on our long-term indicator. So all three indicators going green, pushing to the upside. Right now, we are one indicator green to the upside, and we're just waiting for in the next 24 to 48 hours, we'll see that push to the upside. Now, the other thing we've been talking about for fun is the moon cycle indicator. Last time we had a full moon, that was when all four items were green and we had that massive pump to the new all-time high. Well, exciting news. We do have a new full moon happening on August 9th, just 6 days away. And there is oftentimes an early pump prior to the actual full moon. It can happen anywhere between 3 to 5 days. We are even 6 days away. We might start to see this pump to the upside. What I'm looking for right now is a break above $3.01. That will then push us into the 10 exponential moving average on the daily. We want to surge above that, $3.03. See a candle body close in that level and a continuation move to the $3.23 levels. Conversely, if for some reason we reject off the 10 exponential moving average, we very likely will be coming back down to retest this breakout level of the $2.93. And if we lose that, we could definitely be coming back in this supply and demand zone of 274. But there's a couple of really positive signs happening right now. Number one, short-term, mid-term momentum's reset. We're ready to make to the upside. If we take a look at the 12 hours, it's already started. As we can see right now, our short-term momentum wave on the 12-hour is moving to the upside. We need verification on a couple of things. One, our mid-term momentum wave, the white line, also needs to start breaking to the upside. We have 11 hours left in this brand new candle that just came out. Until that candle closes, we will not have confirmation. Once it closes, we'll know if the midterm momentum starts to climb as well. Also, we do have, even though we're doing really well, we're having some great price action to the upside from this $2.74 up to $3.02. You know, we're looking at 25, 26, 27 cent move already to the upside, but our long-term momentum wave is still bearish. It's in the red. As you can see, last time we were in the red, we finally broke green, was right here, June 28th, which is prior to the daily one, but we started making our move to the upside. So we have still 24 to 48 hours. We'll know something. We're looking for that middle term momentum wave on the 12-hour to also break. Now we just broke through. We're at $3.02. We're getting some good volume here. And interestingly enough, when it comes to XRP pricing and charts, or charting in general, one person who's always throwing random stuff out there is David Schwartz, Chief Technology Officer for Ripple. And he's always spot on with his market insights. A lot of people say that he's a riddler. He's always telling people what's going to happen in the markets. He's kind of predicting the future or telling you ahead of time what's going to happen. So take a listen to this Space's response when people ask him if he's leaving riddles behind for people to be able to make better trades or understanding where prices are going.
Probably 5 things I've ever said in riddles or had some kind of secret message, if even. The vast majority of the time I see something cool. That is 100% all that there is to it. I don't have any of that. Come on.
Now, personally, I do follow his account, and maybe I'm paranoid or whatever, but I believe that a lot of stuff he says has riddles in it. So, for example, he's talking about something here. This Colin Noor posted something not about crypto at all, but then they go on because of section 942 specifically addressed deadly force, and since it adds 9 SEC. So when he posts stuff like this, I don't see justification to claim the text the law of 941, right? $9.41. XRP is going to $9.41. All right, and here's another really random thing, right? So Science Girl posts this thing. This device lets you breathe underwater with air from the surface. Now, as we know, we've had a pretty rapid ascension in price over the last 24 hours. Well, yesterday, after we had the potential bottom of all posts, David Schwartz decides to post upon this one, a reply. Anyone using anything like this should be extremely aware of the need to ascend safely, even from the depths of as low as 12 feet. The risks of diving, particularly lung overexpansion, are totally different if you are inhale at depth versus just holding your breath from the surface. So interesting. Let me know how you read this. I'm thinking, okay, well then price is going to explode to the upside, right? Because when people rise, when you go down deep diving and you rise too fast, you get the bends or overexpansion of your lungs and you can die. You have to go into a decompression chamber and whatnot, right? Well, everyone was freaking out that the prices were dropping so significantly fast, like we saw with XRP. All of a sudden, we're having this massive push to the upside. Now, like I said, I look a little heavily into this stuff because I'm always excited to see XRP price rise to the upside. But look at the last three 12-hour candles. That's a pretty significant move already. Let's look at the daily candles. Yesterday's daily candle, pretty big volume candle. We're about to potentially get another one. And if I look at the 4-hour charts here, we take a look at our middle and our short-term, middle-term momentum waves. Short-term has reached peak. Last time we reached peak here was this one, but we're riding red down here. So what I'm looking for on the 4-hour is to cross back over the zero line. Look what happened last time the 4-hour crossed below the zero line. Well, that's when we had this sell off to the downside. When we cross above it, let's go look at what happened last time we crossed above it. So we had a cross above, a little retest, and then we stayed above it this whole time and then finally spiked up there. So not a whole lot of bullish momentum, even on the 4-hour charts yet, but look at this massive move we've already experienced. When we take a look at the 1-hour, we were just creepy crawling up significantly slow until this new daily candle just got kicked off and activated. And we have just barely reached above the 1-hour Wolfpack indicator crossing. Short-term, mid-term momentum waves are maxed out and our Wolfpack indicator is maxing out, which is really good news. So what I'm thinking is going to happen here is we are going to see a nice push to the upside. And then we're going to get into one of our supply and demand levels, and it's probably going to come and test off of that level again because it finally broke out. So let's take a look. Where's our supply and demand levels? On the 1-hour charts, we look with our Heikinashi candles, and we can see, as we see right here, this push to the upside, the last green candle before the down move is going to be right here. This is a spot. Okay, that candle. And then there's a green candle that was an interference candle right here, which will run into a resistance there. And then we're going to have the ultimate resistance before we start to like break out back into this 323 level. So there are a few supply and demand zones that we're going to run into. So let's go ahead and switch back to traditional candles. As we can see right now on our hourly rate, on our hourly charts, we have broken into this supply and demand zone. We are stuck at a weekly body candle close. We need to break through here. You can see we wicked and we're actually retracting from there right now. So there is a potential of, even if this is a rejection here, it could come down, bounce off this one, then head its way back up. Because as I always talk about it with you guys, we have a pretty massive fair value gap right here. And if it starts to come and fill that fair value gap, then take off, that's totally fine as well. But we are in a supply and demand zone right here. We do have a fair value gap right here, which is at $3.13. There's even a little micro one right here at $3.06. So this is all like micro trading though. This is like the hourly stuff. So let's go on a more macro scale here. So let's go back to the daily and let's look at pricing. Where is price going? So we got a lot of stuff in here now. It's getting a little busy. Let's turn off fair value gaps. Remember, August 9th. That's either the continuation of the pump or we're going to trade sideways in these ranges before we pump to the air. So we're going to turn on Heikinashi now with the daily charts. And let's go ahead and just clear everything. All right, so we'll clear all drawings. Now what we see here is this massive pump to the upside, the last green candle before the down move. That is going to be on our daily, more macro time scale where we're going to run into resistance, $3.42. We do also have this downward move and then this weird interference before the continued drop right here. So that will also be a supply and demand zone. So we do have some interesting interference before we get up to this level and clear it for the new price discovery. So what we're watching for on this more macro time scale, as we can see, we have now turned to a green candle, which is an up move. We have a resistance that'll come into play at $3.10. And there's this big area that's $3.32 to break out of. After we move there, we're then going to come to 342 and then break out of 358. All right, so that's traditional supply and demand zone. Now let's go take a look at what we see on our spider lines. All right, so here's our spider lines chart. If you're not familiar, spider lines are support and resistance lines that come from historical levels, the drop of 2018 with a pivot point of the high of 2021 in April using the Ray tool, and then it shoots out a future prediction of price. And let's take a look at where we are. So right now, as we can see, price came down. It bumped off the 50 exponential moving average on the daily charts. We have a spider line here at $2.89. Price is moving up. We're at that $3.01 spider line. It is also rejecting off the 10 exponential moving average at the moment. It'll be nice to see it surge through there. Then we're going to have $3.11, which we can see it has been a historic support and resistance. And if we go back here, it was a support here, a resistance here. So after we break through that one, then we go up to the blue line, which is going to be our $3.23 level. Then we'll be able to surge back up to 340. And then this red dotted line has been the most intense resistance on spider lines thus far. As we can see, that nice massive push that we were all excited about got the 355, rejected from there, spiked through, rejected, came back, spiked literally on the dot. Then it bodied candle close, then a doji candle close, then a body candle close before the drop, all on that same exact line. And what's interesting, when we made our first new all-time high of $3.40, let's take a look at where it hit. Boom, exactly on that spiral. 1, 2, 3 times before rejecting and having this massive pullback prior to our massive move to the new all-time high. So you're going to want to make sure you check back with me tomorrow. So we're going to see in the next 24 to 48 hours if our XRP short-term, middle-term momentum waves start to turn back to the upside. We're looking good right now. As long as we don't reject, we need to get continued momentum, and we could see a massive surge because our next spider lines after the 355 level is 385. Then we start to get real exciting at 481, and we continue on 543. And then we have to zoom way out because there's some that shoot way into the future here, ladies and gentlemen. Now we're looking at $15. We're looking at $30. So some exciting times ahead for XRP.
Hey, bull runners, check this out. If you want to learn how to find the next 10x, 50x, or even 100x altcoin in this video, listen to this. Our research team posted GOAT on the 13th of October of 2024 when it was right at a penny, and since then it rallied to over $1 and is currently still up over 5,000%. That's like turning $1,000 into over $50,000. Our team called Pendle at only a $16 million market cap, or 16 cents, back on February 18th of 2023, all the way back here, and since then it's rallied up over 4,000%. That's a 40x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $40,000. Our team also called BitTensor Tau September 15th, 2022, before the token was ever even launched. And since then, Tau has rallied over 2,000%. That's a 20x. Our team even said Solana is most likely to be one of the easiest trades next year, and this was posted December 29th, 2022, on the day that Solana bottomed out at around $8. And since then, Solana looks like it's up over 2,500%. That's a 25x. It's like turning $1,000 into over $25,000. And the bull run is just getting started. The list goes on and on and on. Our team called Sui, Ondo, and even some of the biggest cult-based meme coins like MOG back in July 20th of 2023, the day that MOG launched. So if you want to learn how our team is finding these altcoins before they explode, we just launched Altcoin Pro University, where our research team gives you real-time altcoin picks with explosive potential for this bull run, along with 100+ expert curated classes crafted by industry experts to discover these gems yourself, on top of our live weekly calls every single week for in-depth crypto market analysis and daily updates. And that's just a fraction of what we offer inside of Altcoin Pro University. Just go through the link in the description below, get in right now, watch the 26-minute video covering everything that Altcoin Pro University offers,